Buenos días, buenas tardes y buenas noches. Welcome everyone to Spanish in a Livestream número 30, number 30. Can't believe we're already at number 30. It's absolutely amazing. Es asombroso. Just like usual, I am going to start off this live stream with a little study time. Voy a estudiar por 20 minutos. So you want to read a little bit? Mi libro, La Fundación, this little science fiction book that I'm reading right now. I haven't gotten that much, or I haven't got that far in the book yet, but that's why I had this little time so I can get this done. So a little bit of reading, la lectura, y después de eso yo voy a escribir por 5 minutos. I'm going to write in Spanish for about 5 minutes. And then after that, I am going to study a little bit of French and Spanish a la vez, a little bit of French and Spanish. So we'll do that. And after that, vamos a practicar sobre todo lo que tiene que ver con los idiomas y español. And also, for all those who are coming in, make sure that you like this live stream, subscribe to the channel, suscríbete, dale un like a este video, and share it with your friends as well. Minutos. Observo que terreno contra una respuesta del cuadro, aunque la cosa fue de la más elocuente. 5, 7 y 4, 7 y 40. Los excesos tratales pero puede ser y desde monopolizó la conversación de escribir. And usually when I'm reading, I have a pencil in my hand, por hábito, because of habit. And then I usually just mark down, or I highlight, or underline rather. I underline some different sentences that I'm trying to learn, grammar-wise. Like por ejemplo, I see the word durante when I'm reading. Then I'm like, oh, okay, I don't even know how to use the word durante, so then I'll underline durante, then I'll read that sentence like later, maybe like later today or tomorrow. I'll come back to the sentence, and then I'm like, okay, so sus propias hazañas, I have no idea what that means. Como cabeza de batallón durante la reciente guerra entre Anacreonte y el vecino y recién proclamado reino de Semirno. So now I know how to use durante in una frase. So that's like one really good way that I learn vocabulary, just by reading, just like that. Learning how to use vocabulary in context and just looking at the sentence order. The sentence order in general when I'm reading. So that's what I like to do when I'm reading. That's what I'm always focusing on. And not too much of looking at vocabulary, not too much. Después de la cena, uno por uno, los oficiales haciendo salas, llego con Hugo acompañada un balcón. Se relajo con el caldo. And here's another word I just found. Oh, did I lose it? Lacadie. Déjame ver. Vamos a ver fama poblada by nombre. Yeah, I just lost it. All right, let me find it again. Let me find it. Okay, saw this this word, say relajo, or two words rather. So that's another one I don't really know how to use properly, but now I see it's say relajo con el cálido aire de la noche estival. So in this case, I would like come back after reading this and I would write down this sentence with this word say relajo, or these words say relajo con el cálido. So now I know that I can use say relajo con or with con. So that is very helpful as well. So that's another one. So I do this all the time. Okay, voy a continuar. Deliciosamente. I don't want to do over something. Escaso. Tenemos 37 minutos. Hombre. Premio auténtico. Alejarse el estado de aislamiento es un poco incierto. Sería muy conveniente que las ratas son los pueblos sólidos, por cierto. Todo de sus cigarros. No hace mucho que recibo un barco. Fruncio segno. Dos minutos más y voy a dejar de leer. Un minuto más. Teoría muy bonita, doctor. Perdóname. Aquí no tenemos. Cartas de nación imperial. Para toda situación actual, las esencias están de parsecs de la calidad. ¿Qué diablos tienes? Como he dicho, de que en cualquier momento presenciaremos la conclusión de los se cruzará de brazos. All right, so that's all I'm going to do for that book right now. That was about 10 minutes, so I only have 10 minutes more to study, so I don't have that much time left. But I haven't had that much focused study time this week, so that's why I like these live streams, because I can do it here. Yeah, like this week has been very difficult as far as like studying, trying to get some study time in. So these live streams help keep me very accountable for a little bit of study time, even if it's just like reading a few pages, because it really does add up in the end. Instead of not reading for weeks and months, which I've done in the past, reading just like one page every day or 2 pages every single day still helps out a lot for consistency and for discipline. So now I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to write for about 5 minutes. I have not been writing in Spanish I have not been consistent with that at all. I really want to increase my writing skills. I think it's a really important skill to have. But yeah, I have not been writing in Spanish I don't remember the last time I sat down and wrote for 10 minutes or 15 minutes. It's been probably months. 5 minutes I've written in Spanish maybe like a month ago or so. But I want to start writing at least for like 10 minutes, like a few times a week. That's my goal. I've been terrible at meeting this goal, but that's something that I really want to start doing a lot more. So we'll get that in. And it really doesn't matter like what I'm writing about either. I just really kind of write whatever. Usually like about my day, then I try to include some words that I'm learning. Yeah, that's about it. So I don't really have like a specific writing prompt that I'm following. It just kind of whatever comes to my head or whatnot. Yeah, so I just try to write just at least like a little bit. Also, let me know in the chat here if you write in Spanish, and actually no, let me know how your week has been for studying. Hola, Michelle. Or Michelle. You know what? I forgot how to pronounce your name again. You have to explain it to me. I'm sorry. Lo siento muchísimo. Pero espero que esté muy bien. I hope you are doing very well. And also let me know, for all those who are joining, how long you've been learning Spanish for, and ¿de dónde es usted? Where are you from? ¿Por cuánto tiempo ha estudiado español y de dónde es usted? Where are you from? El país, the country. Yo soy de los Estados Unidos. Hoy es el 24 de febrero. Después mi siesta. Sueño. Con mucho sueño. Perezosamente. Y con mucho sueño. Aunque estuviera... Hola, Camden, tanto tiempo. Me da gusto verte aquí. Camden says, he estado aprendiendo por como un poco más de un año. Qué excelente. Soy de Australia. Oh, wow. Un placer tenerte aquí. Muchas gracias por venir. Thank you for joining. Australia, that's one place I have never been, but I've heard many good things, And then right now I'm just writing in Spanish for about 5 minutes because I have not been reading in Spanish for a very long time. So I've been very terrible at writing in Spanish. So I'm trying to develop this habit a lot more. Camden says, gracias, bro. No idea qué. Yeah, we need to start writing in Spanish more. For me, I think I've been lazy too because it takes it does take a decent amount of energy out of you to read. So it's almost kind of like reading. Reading is a little less cansador. Es menos cansador que la lectura, pero todavía se te quita la energía. Like it still takes some energy to write because you still gotta focus. And yeah, and of course if it's your second or your third language, it's in a foreign language, not your native language. You know, it takes some mental energy. But I definitely want to increase my writing skills. That's for sure, because it helps me to better my grammar, my Spanish grammar, than for spelling things, like spelling, of course, spelling words and stuff like that. And it helps for pronunciation too. Ratuta Vice Houses, como siempre, hermano, la dedicación que has dado al idioma más hace sentir que todo es y siempre será posible para lograr. Sí, estoy de acuerdo contigo. Hay que hacerlo. You have to dedicate a lot to learn a language. I didn't know at first how much time it will take to dedicate to learn a language and to maintain it. Yeah, there's a lot of time, a lot of focus, a lot of energy, and sometimes a few tears. Sometimes, if you're an emotional person, maybe you might cry sometimes because you're just so stressed out, estresado. Susan, reading is the easiest for me. My pronunciation sucks. Well, you can always improve your pronunciation, so don't worry about that. I've also heard a lot of people say that like success has suck in it, so you shouldn't worry about sucking because it's a part of success. I wish I could take that quote as my own, but I can't. It's not mine. It's not mine. All right, let me write for a little bit more. I'm gonna write for about 2 minutes. Yeah. Por lo menos 2 minutos más. Por lo menos. Aunque estuviera. Dejado en la cama. Doloroso. Está dolorido. Dolorido. Está dolorido. Esta semana mató mi cuerpo. Raheem Neveser. Yo soy de Texas. Ay. Mi cabello. Okay. Entonces, well, study time is over. You know, I didn't study that much, but you know, that's usually what happens on these live streams. Don't get that much studying done. Pero bueno, at least I read a little bit and I wrote a little bit, so that's good because it's been a minute. It's been a while. Let me read what I wrote. I literally just wrote down. I was describing how I felt when I woke up after my nap. I just took a nap because I needed it really bad because this week has been quite exhausting. Anyway, I wrote, yo escribí, me levanté después mi siesta perezosamente, con mucho sueño. Estaba perdido completamente, aunque estuviera relajado en la cama, pensando por qué me toca levantarme tan temprano. Apenas soy capaz de abrir mis ojos, mi cuerpo está dolorido. I forgot how to say that. Dolorido. I can't remember if it was like es doloroso o está dolorido. I forgot. Pero bueno, mi cuerpo está dolorido. Mi entrenamiento de esta semana mató mi cuerpo y yo no quiso moverle. So, yeah, that's usually what I write. I write like whatever comes to my head. So in that case, I was writing down as descriptively as possible how I felt when I woke up from my nap. Hey, says, después puedes extrañar las diferencias. Enseñar las diferencias entre portugués y español para vosotros. ¿Cómo qué significa extrañar en ese sentido? Explícame, por favor. So, yeah, this week has been very difficult to get some study time in. So I'm happy I got this little live stream to do that for a few minutes. And yeah, I like to write in Spanish, but I have not been doing that as much as I should be. I've not, for example, I haven't written this week at all until right now. I didn't write in Spanish last week or the week before It's been a few weeks since I've written in Spanish, like sat down and just like wrote about my day or something like that, like, you know, like a diary or a journal or whatnot. So it's been a while for writing specifically. So I need to start doing that more. So I should probably do that more during these live streams because that's when I'll do it actually. So write more in Spanish because it helps me with my grammar, and it also helps me with starting to use new words in Spanish. For example, I wrote down perezosamente because that's a word that I just learned recently in a book that I'm reading. Well, in this book specifically, in Fundación. So like that one was pretty good. I could actually remember that one. So I wrote that down, and it also helps for my goals as well because I want to speak more descriptively. So writing helps me to helps me to collect my thoughts before I actually speak. Because when I'm speaking Spanish, you know, there's only so many things there's only like so much time I can wait before I say something, right? So normalmente solamente yo digo lo que se viene a la mente sin pensar tanto en cada palabra que existe en el mundo. So I usually just kind of say whatever comes to my head. But if I'm writing, I can be, as descriptive as possible, and that really helps me. So I can start to speak more descriptively as well. Because that's what I want to do. I want to be able to speak more descriptively in Spanish. By descriptively, I mean like with more adjectives, with more detail, basically. Más con más detalle, with more detail. Toast, tostado. Hola, ¿cómo estás? ¿Cómo está usted? Okay, he says, en ese sentido, es de sentenciar, o sea, de se explicar solo en ese caso también. Well, I don't know anything about Portuguese because I'm not learning Portuguese, so I wouldn't be able to do that. Desafortunadamente, yeah, I don't know anything about Portuguese. Brazilian Portuguese or European Portuguese, doesn't matter what type of Portuguese. At the moment, I don't know any. Portuguese. I don't think I even know one word in Portuguese, besides the Spanish ones, but I don't know how to pronounce them. It seems greatly improved. I congratulate. Muchas gracias. Muchas gracias. And for those who are coming in, make sure that you like this live stream. Like this live stream. Subscribe to the channel. Suscríbete a este canal. Suscríbete a este canal. And then also share this with your friends as well. Share some videos. Share some videos of mine with your friends. Suscríbete. You can see the lights in the back. Suscríbete a mi canal. I'm really happy that I have this. I've been learning actually been learning a lot of words and phrases for YouTube specifically since I started this journey becoming a content creator. For example, subscribe. I never knew what subscribe was in Spanish until I started making videos, because I met some other content creators, some other YouTubers who spoke Spanish, and then we started to talk about our channels. And then, yeah, that's kind of how I learned a few words like suscribir and suscrito, suscriptores, subscribers, subscribe. And it was very difficult for me to pronounce. It took me like months of practice to like pronounce this word correctly. Suscribir. Yeah, so it's been hard to say. And then also, I remember this one woman from Colombia that I met. She asked me, ¿de qué se? Oh. ¿A qué se dedica tu canal? So she asked me, ¿a qué se dedica tu canal? And if you know that phrase or that question, a lot of times you'll hear that question if someone's asking you about your job. So they'll ask you, ¿a qué se dedica? And that just means like, well, like more literal translation is like what do you like dedicate yourself to or whatnot. So she asked me that, but she's referring to my channel, and that was the first time that I've ever heard this phrase used in that way in regards to a channel. So she said, "Oh, ¿a qué se dedica tu canal?" So like, "Oh, ¿a qué se dedica?" So like, what is my channel about, basically? But I never like thought of using that phrase before to ask someone about like their channel. So that was really interesting. ¿A qué se dedica su canal? So now when I'm talking to a Spanish speaker and they ask me about my channel, so then now I start to use that one. Now say, okay, mi canal de YouTube se dedica a como el aprendizaje de idiomas y compartiendo mi historia y mi camino aprendiendo ese idioma. So that's pretty cool. Sean says, dijeran, diserán. Oh, that sounds very confusing. That's like way too close. Sean Composer says, coño, estoy en un concierto y no puedo ir a participar. Ahora mismo estás en un concierto. ¿Cuánto tiempo crees que va a durar ese directo? Yo creo que va a durar por 2 horas al máximo. ¿Podrías escribirlo aquí para... Yeah, claro. Dura. Susan says, I hope to be fluent and you inspires me. Muchas gracias. I hope you will become fluent as well, and you can. Absolutely. Definitivamente. Con mucha práctica, mucha dedicación, práctica, paciencia, definitivamente, a lot of patience, practice, dedication, y disciplina. Disciplina, and definitely discipline too. Y una mentalidad muy fuerte también. ¿Cómo diría? El esfuerzo, mentalidad. No, mente, esfuerzo, mental. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to remember right now this new phrase that I learned in this book that I'm reading as well. I'm a little crazy. I'm trying to read 3 books at the same time. It's not the best idea, but fuertemente, déjame ver. Gravedad. Bueno, voy a encontrarlo. Pero right now, I bought this book because my friend recommended it to me. Me recomendó ese libro. No me puedes lastimar por David Goggins. Quizás ya conoces a este hombre, o bueno, conoces por la noticia y de la noticia de televisión, YouTube, podcast, todo lo que tiene que ver con las redes sociales. So he's become pretty popular. I think he was in the Marines. Was it Marines or was it Navy, or was it the Navy SEALs or the? Yeah, so he was a SEAL. Illegal was SEAL, yeah, the Marina and Ranger. I think in different things. The Navy SEAL and Marines. So yeah, someone recommend me read that book. It's more about like, you know, cómo tener una mentalidad muy fuerte, básicamente. Todo lo que tiene que ver con esto. Sí, so yeah, I'm trying to read that book because I like personal development, el desarrollo personal, ese tipo de libro. I like that type of like those type of books and like different types of vocabulary and phrases like the one I'm trying to remember right now and these types of books because then I know I can like use this type of vocabulary that I'm learning, different types of phrases that I'm hearing or that I'm reading in these books, and in this case, this type of book and like a personal development book, and then I can help my friends because I like to give like tips or advice or whatnot and encouragement to my friends, and I can do that with more vocabulary. So that's also something I've learned a lot through my journey. Um, is not just having conversations about like television or movies and things like that, video games or whatnot, but like having like deeper conversation more about like your feelings, like things that have happened to you or whatnot, or maybe like some life struggle, like those types of conversations. And I realized like, oh, I don't really know how to encourage someone in Spanish. So I'm like, oh, okay, I need to start learning some new vocabulary, start learning new phrases. And that's how I got more into like personal development, learning that type of vocabulary. Como like no te desanimes, like that one. Or animate, no te desanimes, no te renuncias, and like things like that. Joseph Noguera says this is just to practice the word dedicar. A que dedicas las mañanas las dedico a estudiar español. Oh, wow. You use it for that too? Bueno, mis mañanas se dedican a levantarme, bañarme y alimentarme. Algo muy simple. So I guess yeah, you can use dedicar for many different phrases or use them in different contexts. So that's good to know. So it's not just for like what do you do for work? So that's pretty good. So that's como la complejidad. La complejidad. Excelente. Sí, devote time to. Okay. I like that, devote time to. Y por esa razón, como siempre estoy enriqueciéndome. Algo así. Me enriquezco con más vocabulario, con más complejidad de este idioma. So there's always something new to learn, like in this case. I know I can use dedicar for various things. 2 years ago, I thought you would only use dedicar, the verb dedicar, for asking someone what they do for work. A que te dedicas, or a que se dedica. But now I know I can use this in many different ways. So that happens a lot with with many different words that I learned. At first, it's like, oh, I only know one meaning to this word. I only know how to use this word one way. I only know how to use this phrase one way. But the more that I learn, the more Spanish speakers that I talk to, I learn more and more and more. But speaking of having a conversation with Spanish speakers, make sure that you check out all the links to the different resources linked below in the description of this live stream. But also make sure that if you would like to have better conversations in Spanish, I have created a Spanish conversation blueprint. So that's just like a free PDF that you can receive in your email. So you could just subscribe to my email list, and then that's just putting in your contact information, like your name and then your email, and then you'll receive that free PDF for my Spanish conversation blueprint, and be subscribed to the email list. So make sure that you check that out. That's just in the description. I'm pretty sure. Let me double check. It should be. No, yeah, it definitely is. So definitely check that out and subscribe to my email list. I think that is, very, como que me llena con felicidad. Me llena con felicidad hablar sobre este tema. So like it really fills me with joy to be able to talk about this type of topic, how to have better conversations in Spanish. I think that's something that, number one, it's hard just to like start a conversation, and then number two, it's like the art of communicating in Spanish for me. It's like the art of communication, the art of having conversations in Spanish. How do you do that? That's something that I've had to learn over the past 3 years, because I never knew how to do that. I never knew how to communicate in Spanish. I never knew how to talk, or I could even like speak that many sentences in general, a few years ago in Spanish. So, number one, it was, how do I say like a sentence in Spanish? How do I connect sentences together in Spanish? And then from there, it went to, okay, how do I have a conversation with a Spanish speaker? How do I have a conversation with someone that I never met before, So like from there, that's basically I made this little PDF from my experiences having conversations with Spanish speakers. So definitely make sure that you subscribe to my email list and get that. So that is a little free resource for you. I think it's very important. I think just having, being able to connect, like for me, like what people ask me, what's one thing that, that motivates me a lot to, learn Spanish and learn language in general. And for me, that's what one big motivator right there is, having conversations with strangers in Spanish. Like I love having conversations in Spanish. Sometimes I'm still nervous. I still get nervous when I have conversations with people, especially with new people, but it's been, that's like one thing that like keeps me motivated. Like for whatever reason, like having a conversation in my second language is like an amazing time. Like every time that I do it, like I love it. It's just something about speaking in your second language that just, I don't know. It's like an amazing time. It's an unforgettable experience. It's just really fun. So I love being able to speak in my second language, and yeah, it's been absolutely amazing. Joseph asks, ¿qué te llevó a aprender español? ¿Qué te llevó? Como el motivo o el comienzo de mi camino. ¿Qué te llevó a aprender español? See, like this is a phrase right now I have never heard before. So I'm actually gonna put it on the screen. So I've never seen a question like this before in this type of context. I think Joseph is asking me, like why I didn't, or why I started learning Spanish. That's what it sounds like to me, but I'm not sure. Como explícame eso. See. So I'm happy that you said that, Joseph. So, ¿qué te llevó a aprender español? So like this is like a really good example right here. A good example of how I can use like another question. ¿Qué te llevó a aprender español? So now I know this is basically like asking me como ¿por qué estás aprendiendo español? ¿Cómo empezaste a aprender español? Como es una frase muy parecida, una pregunta muy parecida. Y bueno, para mí, al principio fue la escuela, porque era obligatorio. Fue obligatorio. Fue obligatorio para estudiar un idioma. So it was, an obligation to learn a language. Well, at first, like I learned like around como cuando tenía 12, 13 años. Yo tenía que aprender francés y mandarino. I don't know how to say that in Spanish. But those two languages, and then like when I turned 13, I had to take a Spanish class. So como por la escuela solamente Y la preparatoria, same thing. So in high school, same thing. You know, I had to take a language, so I chose Spanish because I was more familiar with that. So como entre 13 y 15 y 10, mandarín, gracias. Asesor de seguros. Sí, entre 13 y 16 años, yo estaba en la escuela, en la preparatoria, y como el grado séptimo, entre el grado séptimo y el grado 12, no, 10, yo tenía que aprender un idioma. Y desde ahí, yo tuve que aprender otro idioma también en la universidad porque era obligatorio. Yo escogí clases de español. Por la razón por la cual yo pensé que iba a ser más fácil en comparación con aprendiendo un otro idioma extranjero como francés o mandarín o alemán o algo así, pero todavía me costaba en la universidad aprender español por las exámenes, la gramática, todo este tipo de exámenes fueron horribles. Mis notas, no saqué buenas notas, buenas notas en la universidad. Pero desde entonces, since like I graduated from school, después de graduarme de la universidad, eso es cuando yo tuve que hacer la decisión que yo iba a estudiar por mi cuenta y sin el motivo de la escuela. Entonces, en ese momento, después de graduarme, yo tuve que empujarme. I had to, push myself to learn Spanish because I made a decision that I wanted to learn Spanish, right? And then I didn't have any oversight anymore. I didn't have to learn it for school. I didn't have to learn it, to pass a grade. So then I just started to, learn on my own, for fun because I wanted to learn. Hace 4, about 4 years ago now, since I graduated. So, y desde entonces la pasión ha crecido muchísimo. Como ya te mencioné antes, me encanta la educación, me encanta educarme, me encanta aprender sobre los países de habla hispana. I love to learn about, Spanish-speaking countries, la historia y todo eso. Me encanta leer. Yo creo que como estos gustos, como el conjunto de esos gustos, fueron las razones por las cuales mi pasión para aprender este idioma creció muchísimo y rapidísimo. So basically, I just started to get really passionate about learning the language, the process, el proceso de aprender español. I just fell in love with like learning the language, learning about the grammar, learning new phrases and words, and watching TV shows in Spanish, listening to music in Spanish. And then, yeah, that's kind of how it all started. So, al principio era obligatorio y después por mi cuenta y la pasión. La pasión es lo que me motivó para continuar estudiando español y aprendiendo este idioma. Y hasta hoy es la misma cosa. So even today, it's the same thing. More today como más que antes, más que en estos entonces, yo tengo más motivos para aprender español. Like before, I did it just because it was fun, but now I have many more reasons to learn Spanish because like now I use it all the time. I have a channel that's dedicated to learning Spanish. I have friends who are Spanish speakers. So like now I just have many more reasons to to continue to learn Spanish as well. I mean, I answered probably more than just your question, but that's probably a good thing because that probably would have been like a follow-up question. Pero para todos que están uniendo, for all those who are coming and joining this live stream, thank you for joining and for participating and for being here conmigo. Because this is I love having these live streams. It's very fun to crecer esa comunidad, to grow this little community that we have, this Spanish Blueprints community. So it's an amazing opportunity, I would say. Something I would have never imagined I would be doing. That's for sure. Definitely would have never imagined that I would be doing this. So, and don't forget to turn on your notifications, and so you can be notified for new videos that are coming out. I uploaded a video today about learning Spanish with YouTube, and subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications, like this video as well, or like this live stream, and share my videos with your friends as well. It's also very helpful. And don't forget to check out the links and some different resources in the description of this live stream. So check those out as well. Sí, buen punto. Por eso, yo tengo todo Latina or America Latina para explorar. I have like I said, I have all of Latin America to travel and learn. So there's a lot to learn. Asesor de seguros says or ask, ¿qué países conoces de Latinoamérica? So right now I only know, solamente yo conozco México y la República Dominicana en persona específicamente. So I've only been to Mexico and the Dominican Republic physically that I've actually traveled to. So yeah, I definitely recommend it. I definitely recommend traveling to those two locations there. Guadalajara, específicamente Guadalajara en México, en el estado de Jalisco. So Jalisco, the city or the state, and the city was Guadalajara. And then Dominican Republic, I have been to Samaná, and I've also been to Santo Domingo, el capital de la República Dominicana. So yeah, definitely love those two cities. I can't say I can choose in between Samaná and Santo Domingo because they're two different. Like Santo Domingo is like a fairly big city, very a lot of things to do, like kind of big city or whatnot. But then Samaná is like very like extremely small, like very small. Seems like you could just like walk across like the town in like a few hours or less than that. Seems very small. Joseph Noguera, muy bien, sigue aprendiendo y disfrutando el español. Tienes a toda América Latina para practicar. Claro que sí. Oh, that's a good question, Sean. Can you talk about measuring goals? I don't know how to. Yes, I definitely will. So over the years I definitely have developed my own ways of measuring my goals. So the easy it depends on your level. I would say it depends on your level of Spanish, your current language learning level, for sure. Por ejemplo, like I know like the way that I will measure my progress as a beginner, like right now in French, is not the same way that I measure my progress right now. I'll come a little bit more advanced, or a lot more advanced with Spanish. So as a beginner, I would measure my progress or my goals a lot by numbers. So for example, how many words did I learn? How many words did I learn this week? Did I learn 20 words, 30 words? So that's pretty good, right? So you can count the number of words that you're learning or number of phrases that you're learning every week. But then you can get even more detail with that. You can get more detail with that, and you can say, okay, I've learned 10 nouns this week. I've learned 15 verbs this week, or 15 adjectives this week. So you can get descriptive like that. And the same thing with phrases, and and similar to, you know, other vocabulary as well. So you could be like, I'm trying to give you different ideas. You can do it that way. You can do it by, whether it's a noun or a verb, or I'm talking about like vocabulary specifically right now. But then you can also, measure by different topics. So maybe you have been learning, vocabulary that is related to cooking, and let's say, to reading or something like that, like lectura, página, subrayar, frase, oración, la portada. I'm like listing different vocabulary words that are like related to reading. So in this case, you can separate, you can track that progress as well. Like, oh, okay, I've learned 20 words that are related to cooking. I've learned, 50 words that are related to like video games, or 50 vocabulary words that are related to social media. So you can do it that way as well. Then Michael B asked, did you end up with a huge stacks of flashcards learning vocabulary? So I did. Like initially when I was learning, because that's like the main way that I was learning vocabulary. Like when I started to learn Spanish on my own was with flashcards. So yeah, I had like over 200 of them. I had a lot. So yeah, I did have like a huge stack of flashcards. But with French right now, I don't have that many. So that's one way that you can do with vocabulary. Let's see what else. As that way, you can do it on a notebook. You can do it, on Excel. You can do it on Notion. I made a whole video about that. Yeah, make sure you watch that video. So I made a video about how to track your progress, and then how to create your like a study schedule with Notion, because I use Notion a lot. So that was like very helpful. So that's one way. I'm trying to think what else. Oh yeah, so we talk about reading, right? So if you can track your progress by the number of pages that you're reading in a book as well. Now for speaking goals, I think that was not super difficult. So I'm trying to think right now what ways I've done it. So if you're tracking your speaking skills, you want to, let's say you want to speak better. So that's one of your goals. Not super descriptive, I know, but let's just say that is one of your goals. Okay, then you can track that by your pronunciation. You can track that by how descriptive that you're being. So, the type of vocabulary that you're using when you're speaking, by the number of topics that you can speak about, the speed of your speech as well. So how fast that you're speaking, how long it takes you to think of a response. So these are different ways that you can measure your speaking skills as well, or your speaking goals rather. Your speaking goals that you can also, if you're trying to track your speaking skills, you can track how many conversations that you're having in Spanish. That's something that I've been doing actually this year, because I want to have more conversations in Spanish. So I've been tracking, how many conversations that I have with new Spanish speakers. So that's one way you can do it. Let's see what else for speaking. You can do it by your accent as well. Let's say if you're working on a particular accent, then you can focus on, okay, is my accent getting better, from, week to week or month to month? Is my accent getting better? Do I know more slang words from Spain? Do I know more slang words from Dominican Republic? And it can be kind of difficult when you're doing it by yourself. Like for me, it's very difficult specifically for accents, because it's like for me, it's really hard to tell if my accent is really, getting better, if it sounds the same. But that's the thing too with when we're talking about measuring goals. Like these things aren't like a day-to-day thing. They're a day-to-day improvement. They're usually months. They're usually weeks or months. It depends on the goal, of course, right? Depends on the goal. Like, listening comprehension, that's definitely like not really like necessarily a day-to-day change. It's usually like weeks of measuring your progress, weeks and then months of measuring your progress. Like I'm still measuring my progress right now. I can see the difference between my listening comprehension this year, last year. My speaking skills, say the same thing. I can, tell the difference between how I speak this year versus last year versus 3 years ago versus 4 years ago. And then, yeah, going back to the speaking goal, if you want to measure your speaking goal, good thing we have technology. right now you're probably watching on your computer, or you're watching on your on a cell phone or something like that, or maybe on your TV or whatnot. So in that case, if you're watching on your TV or your phone, it's really easy just to pick up your phone right now and como déjame hacerlo ahora mismo. Y voy a grabarme hablando en español y grabándome por quizás 5 minutos, 10 minutos, y podrías hacerlo cada día por 30 días, 40 días, o cada día del año, y vas a tener como un montón de videos de ti hablando en español. Y eso es otra forma de analizar, ay Dios mío, analizar tu forma de hablar. So I just did it right there. So, so just, recording yourself speak Spanish just like that on your phone, like super easy. And then, I mean, a lot of times what I do is after recording myself speaking Spanish, I have, folders, or, a few folders on my computer. Then I just have, 2023. And then I have like a January folder, February folder, then I put those videos in there. And, if I ever want to go back, for whatever reason, and, measure my progress, that's one super easy way to do that. Or you can do it on Instagram too, because Instagram, they save like if you post stuff on your story, they have like an archive of your story, so you can like always go back. So you don't even have to like save them on your phone. You can just go back to Instagram and you can actually download them. So that's actually like super simple, or save them onto your phone again. Y dame un minuto. I need to. My computer's about to die. That'd be really embarrassing if my computer dies. So I need to charge this up. All right. Seguimos. So yeah, make sure that you do that. I know like it can be quite. For me, I'm used to it now, but I always talk to myself in Spanish. I've been doing it for the past 3 years. So like for me, like doing that is a lot easier, especially with YouTube now, because I talk to a camera, right, for making videos. So it's like easier for me to do it, but honestly, it can be kind of strange when you make videos of yourself speaking Spanish, but like it's normal. It's something that you have to do. Like you have to practice, and you're not always gonna be around people, so you just have to get comfortable with speaking to yourself in Spanish. I do it all the time. Asesor de seguros says muy buen consejo el grabar las conversaciones. Claro que sí. Yeah, so I mean, you can not just record yourself speaking Spanish, but to yourself. But you can also record record a conversation that you're having with with a friend. You can do that too. Mac, Oli, ¿cómo estás, mi hermano? Estoy excelente. Muchas gracias por preguntar. Sean, let me know what are some of your goals. That'd be kind of helpful to know. But so those are some ways that I measure my progress. For me, like with listening is very difficult. I mean, with listening really is just, am I able, like right now, as I don't really watch that much movies or TV shows, unfortunately, right now in Spanish. So I mostly just speak with a lot of Spanish speakers in person. But usually with that is just for measuring my progress. I'm like, okay, do I understand this Spanish speaker more than I did, last week or a month ago? Because for me, I know that it takes a long time to increase my listening comprehension. Like, let's say if I meet someone new for the first time today, it's going to take. I already know it's going to take months and months of talking to this person for me to increase my listening comprehension. That's what's happened with my Dominican friends. My current Dominican friends that I met last year. I know I'm understanding more and more as the months roll by. Again, this is not like just like as the days roll by, but as months roll by. We're not together all the time, right? We're not together all the time. We're not talking over the phone all the time. It's like when we see each other in person. But at first, it's extremely difficult. I don't like one of my Dominican friends. I don't really understand. It's like I understand them maybe like 70% of the time. No. 30% of the time. The rest is like very difficult for me to understand him. But when I first met him, I didn't understand maybe 95% of what he was saying. But now it's like more about like 70% understand. 70% of what he says I understand because I've been talking to him for months and months, for 4 or 5 months. So over the past 4 or 5 months, I've been increasing my listening comprehension, and I know now just by how much I can comprehend of what he's saying. I know that that's like one way that I've been measuring. But again, this is like for listening comprehension. It's like months of like analyzing the progress. Okay, Sean Composer says, my goal is to be able to understand spoken Spanish perfectly and express myself with zero difficulty. I find that I hear what they say, but I've never heard of the words before. I've tested B2 Spanish, but it just doesn't feel enough. I have a lot to say about that. Number one, I wouldn't worry about what you tested at. How do I put this? Yeah, I wouldn't worry about like what level that you're at because the first thing that you said is what you should be what you should be analyzing, or I mean what I would like recommend that you analyze yourself at, because you already said I want to be able to understand spoken Spanish perfectly and express myself with zero difficulty. So that should be like the main goal that you're basing it off of, right? And not necessarily like what you tested off, because like a test is not really going to tell you what your ability is necessarily. But like for me, the way that I test myself is actually in a conversation. That's what you said, like in that first part, is you're basing it off of the difficulty level in a conversation. So when you're trying to express yourself and when you're trying to comprehend someone. So that's one thing I would recommend it. I mean, that's really simple. Like the example I just gave, it's fairly simple to track that, right? So, you can track your Spanish spoken ability. You can track your the way that you express yourself. Really just like am I able to express myself better this week than last week, or this week versus last month, or this month versus last month, and what a real good way of that is. Getting even more detailed, like when you say express myself, like what exactly does that mean to you? And that's one way of really being able to measure yourself as well. Yeah. Mac says, I've been learning on and off for a year. I can read and comprehend way better than speaking. My listening is improving. Great. Mac, why did you decide to learn Spanish? Oh, and then Sean's, I find that I hear what they say, but I never heard of the words before. I mean, that happens. It's going to happen all the time. So that's one thing when it comes to measuring your listening comprehension specifically. Like, never have the mentality that you're going to understand everything 100%. Never have that mentality, because it's never going to happen. You're always going to meet someone who says like a new word to you that you don't know. That's the reality of things. You're never going to know 100% of every little thing. It's not realistic. Just like in our native language, we don't understand everything that we hear in our native language. So that's like one thing I definitely recommend. Don't ever try to don't measure your progress as like, okay, I don't understand 100%. That's not realistic to understand 100% all the time, especially when you're talking to someone new, or talking to someone from a Spanish-speaking country that you never talked to before. Like for me, I've been trying to meet people from Nicaragua, Honduras, Bolivia, Colombia, and I never met people from these countries, or España también, and Spain too. But I never met Spanish speakers from these countries before. But now I'm trying to get more introduced to people who are from these countries, and I don't understand anything. And that's because it's very normal, because they're Spanish spoken in different countries. They're very, very distinct. The Spanish is spoken in different countries. They're very distinct. They're very diverse, and you just can't kind of have that mentality. it's not a good mentality to have because it gives you extra stress when you don't need it because it's just not like really it's not realistic. But like for me, like the goal for me, like the conversations I've been talking about, the conversations for me that I have, with my friends, I don't understand everything, but my main goal is just to improve my listening comprehension a little bit overall, just increase it more and more. Okay, okay, I'm trying to understand, what they're saying right now. Okay, let me learn this word that they say. Okay, ¿qué significa esto? Okay, I understand him more. Okay, but like, basically every single conversation that I have with my Spanish speaking friends, I learn something new basically every single time, or they say a word that I don't know. So that's what I mean by that. It's just like there's so many different learning a language is just it's so complex. There's so many new things to learn. That's why you can't put that pressure on yourself to like, okay, I'm going to learn every single thing. Not realistic. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. That's what I would say. It's not going to happen. Don't stress yourself out. Max says, I want to learn for jobs. I wanted to learn a new skill, and learning another language also allows me to get better understanding of different from myself. It will also help get better paying jobs. Agreed. Brandon's brain. ¿Por qué cuánto tiempo llevas hablando español? ¿Por cuánto tiempo? Específicamente hablando con español o hablando español. Yo llevo 20, 2. So I have 3 full years of speaking Spanish. So I always tell people I'm a baby because I have not been speaking Spanish for a long time. I've been speaking Spanish for 3 years. So I'm like eliminating my speaking in college because I wasn't speaking with Spanish speakers. I spoke sometimes in my classes and I spoke sometimes for homework assignments, but other than that, I was like never speaking. I was never practicing by myself. I was never speaking with Spanish speakers outside of classes, outside of homework assignments. But 2020 is when I'll say officially started to have more conversations in Spanish. I mean, I went to Mexico in 2019, but I was only for 5 days. But apart from that, I wasn't like speaking Spanish like ever. So really from 2020 is when I started to actually have more like speaking to myself in Spanish and then speaking with native Spanish speakers. So since like beginning of 2020. But 2019, like I never spoke Spanish besides like classroom and then 5 days in Mexico. And even when I was in Mexico, I wasn't speaking Spanish the whole time. It was like a mix of English and Spanish. I wasn't speaking that well back then. I was like really, really difficult for me to speak Spanish then. So not that long. Not that long at all. Sean says, okay, I had the same question for you. ¿Cuánto tiempo llevas hablando español, Brandon? Brandon's brain. Let me know that as well. Well, actually, that's a question for everybody. Let me know how long you have been speaking Spanish for. Déjame saber esto. Let me know that in the chat here. Sean says, I guess what I'm really saying is that I want my Spanish to be very close to my native English. Well, there you go. So, the same kind of the same the same principle goes. Just break that down again. Be very specific with what that means to you, and then just measure your progress. But like it shouldn't be like with something like that. I wouldn't really give it like a. I mean, you can have it like give a date and things like that. But like, let's say if you don't meet that date, don't get like stressed out because a goal specifically like that one is again something that's not going to happen overnight. That's definitely months, maybe years of progress, years of studying and learning Spanish or speaking Spanish, depending on you, of course, depending on your life, how much you're studying and things like that. But don't get stressed about like, I'm not able to do it this year. Okay, there's always next year, right? Mac, is it all right to learn Spanish accents and slang from different places at one time, like Mexico and Colombia? Absolutely. Yes, you can. And oh, Dios mío, mi voz. And yeah, I really like that question, Mac, that you ask here. Is it all right to learn Spanish accents? Dios mío. Is all right to learn Spanish accents and slang from different places at one time in Mexico and Colombia? So this is a question. So this is a question I didn't know. I didn't know the answer to like 3 years ago, but now I know that yes, you can. And I think like some people that they stress themselves out with, okay, I can only learn one accent at one time. I can only learn slang from one country at the same time. And the reality is, no, you definitely can learn, slang and accents from, different countries at the same time. Like your brain is capable of doing that. I mean, you're already doing it in, your native language. So absolutely, I definitely think you can. I would say if you want to, then do it. That's what I would. That's what I would say specifically. If you want to, yeah, then do it because you're capable of doing it. So it's not like you aren't capable of doing something like that. Like, oh, my brain can't handle learning Spanish from Colombia and Mexico at the same time. It's not like that. Maybe it might be challenging, but learning a language in general is challenging. But yeah, you definitely can do it. I recommend if you would like to do it, do it. But it all depends on what you want to do. And I guess it's not like it's not like it's a bad thing or a good kind of thing. It's the question the question for me more is do you want to do it? So it's not like, oh, is it a bad thing to do it? Because some people will say, only focus on one accent. I don't like that piece of advice at all. Like I don't like that goal at all. Or that, oh yeah, that piece of advice says, some people say, oh, only learn Spanish from one country, because that is not what I did at all. I did not. I mean, I wasn't even focusing on like one specific country at all until like a year and a half after I started to learn Spanish on my own. So I wasn't even focusing on any accent at all. But yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think when people like talk kind of poorly about that or don't recommend it is as far as like getting mixed up. But like you really aren't going to get that mixed up, because there's more. There's, let's say, there's multiple words for the same thing in Spanish. And really, it's all about like organization and keeping things separate. And that's like an art form in itself. How to keep things, keep things separate. But for me, for example, right, I have friends, from different countries. I talk with people from different countries all the time. So like even for me, it'd be like very difficult just to focus on like one specific type of Spanish, because I talk with Spanish speakers from from all over. Recently I just met someone or two people from Venezuela. I have some Mexican friends, I have the Dominican friends. Last year, again, I met people from Honduras. I met people from España. And like, every conversation I was having, I was, learning new words and phrases because they're from countries, that I'm not familiar with, of the Spanish specifically. So that's what I would say about that. As you can see, I'm very passionate about that, because I don't like when people say like, "Oh, only focus on one." It's like, I mean, like it's like, yes, if you want to, really, it's like if you want to, but it's not like you have to. You don't have to You don't have to like pigeonhole yourself to one accent or to one country. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. It depends on your goals. Depends on what you want. So that's a long answer, very long answer. I hope I answered that. If I didn't, let me know. De nada. Yeah, if I'm like going on a rant, because I do that all the time, just like stop me. I go on rants all the time. Asesor de seguros es obligatorio aprender español en Estados Unidos. Bueno, yo no podría decir, yo no podría hablar sobre cada estado o cada sistema educativo en los Estados Unidos, porque claro, se varían. Entonces, no te puedo decir no te puedo compartir una respuesta con certeza, básicamente. Y quizás es diferente. es quizás diferente que cuando yo estuviera en la universidad, en la preparatoria y como en los grados de 1 y a 4, pero quizás como no, yo diría que un idioma es más obligatorio, pero depende de la clase, depende de la, como te dije, depende de la ciudad, del estado y cosas así, porque así es como se funciona el sistema educativo. Es diferente por estado, por distrito, por ciudad y todo eso. Entonces, como no es que, ok, tenemos este requisito en ese estado, ok, eso es igual que, como este requisito de idiomas en Arizona es igual que los requisitos en Miami o Minnesota o Nueva York o Washington, como no es igual en cada parte, ¿me entiendes? That is okay. Brandon he estado hablando español por 7 meses. Qué excelente. For 7 months. Llevo usando un programa Baselang. Oh, Baselang. Okay, I've heard Baselang. I've heard good things about Baselang. I've never used it myself, but I've heard it's pretty good. All right. Ay, Dios. Mac asks, which Spanish-speaking countries have you visited or want to visit? So yeah, I've only been to the Dominican Republic and I've been to Mexico. Those are the 2 Spanish-speaking countries I've been to. I would love to go to every single one. Como si tuviera dinero y el tiempo, yo visitaría cada país de habla hispana. If I could, I would go to every single one. But my top locations to go or top Spanish-speaking countries to visit, in the future, would probably be Colombia, the Dominican Republic again, and maybe Spain. It's so hard because, like I said, like I would love to go to all of them. Because there's just so much to learn, so much to explore. And how about you? Brandon's brain asked, ¿por cuánto tiempo estabas en México? Yo estuve en México por 5 días. So I was in Mexico for 5 days. En Guadalajara, específico. Guadalajara, beautiful place. Very beautiful place. It was really fun. But it was when I couldn't speak Spanish that much. So yeah, I didn't know that much Spanish. I did have some conversations in Spanish, but again, I was mixing English and Spanish because my Spanish wasn't the best then. But yeah, it was an absolutely amazing time. I definitely recommend Guadalajara. And it's just such a beautiful name as well. I love to say the name Guadalajara. To me, it's like a beautiful name. No me digas. Actualmente estás en México. Right now, you're in Mexico. You quiere mudarme aquí. En verdad, man, if I was you, I would get off this live stream and I would just leave. I would just go have fun. Wow, that's awesome. I hope you have a good time. Que disfrutes. What Spanish speaking artists you listen to? Wow, let's do a lot. Amir, hey, que lo que? Todo bien, pa acá. What speaking artists will I listen to? Let me pull up Spotify. So let's start with reggaeton. Reggaeton, let's do a little bit of Nicky Jam. Also Sesh, Set or Sec. I think it's Sesh. Sesh. He's from Nick. No, he's not from Honduras. No. Oh no, he's from Panama. So Sesh is from Panama, and other reggaetoneros. Déjame ver, because I haven't listened to that much reggaeton for a while. I kind of changed up my music a little bit. Déjame ver. Raperos. Oh, okay. What's his name? Farruko. I like Farruko. ¿Cómo se llama? I like J. Romero for reggaeton. Micro TDH. I like Micro TDH. Micro TDH. He's a newer artist. I don't know how many people really know him, but he is from Venezuela. He's from Venezuela, un rapero de Venezuela. But like, I like his music. He's a really cool artist because he raps and he raps and he sings. So yeah, he's a really good artist. He's pretty young too. I think like it's like early 20s. But yeah, Micro Teriache. I like his songs a lot. Like I said, I already said Farruko. More Micro Teriache. Más Micro Teriache. Bueno, el Alfa, pero el Alfa, eso es, ay Dios, la República Dominicana, el dembow, like rap from the DR. So that's mostly for like reggaeton. I don't listen too much of reggaeton because right now I'm listening to a lot of salsa, a lot of bachata, a lot of merengue. I'm trying to listen to banda now. So for bachata, I like Grupo Extra, Alex Bueno, Anthony Santos, Aventura, Romeo Santos, Kiko Rodriguez. I think he's one of my favorite bachateros. Kiko Rodriguez. I like Luis Miguel de Amargue. I like El Torito. I like Hector Acosta, El Torito. I like Zacarias Ferreira. There's a lot of bachateros that I like. ¿Quién más? How I forget about him? El Chaval de la Bachata. I like El Chaval de la Bachata. He's from a group, from like a merengue group originally. Then he had his own, I think, solo career. Frank Reyes. Luis Vargas. Luis Vargas is salsa. Luis Vargas is Luis Bachata. Luis Vargas también. I like a lot of old school bachata. Grupo Extra, I think I already mentioned them already. Joe Beras, I love Joe Beras también. So there's a lot. Okay, then Los Toros band. They're merengue, really good as well. And then salsa, yeah, a lot of artists from salsa. Victor Manuel. Ay Dios, I'm trying to think of his name. Eddie Santiago, Sacero. Let me read your message. Sí, Farruko. Pero él ha cambiado su estilo. Like Farruko, I know he's changed his music. Well, I think he changed his whole life. But his whole life, he changed his music. Brandon's Brain. Estoy viajando con mi novia en Puerto Escondido. Estoy muy principalmente por mi español. Mi español está mejorando mucho aquí. Excellent. That's good. Porque habla con la gente todo el día, cada día aquí. Okay, excellent. That's awesome. That's absolutely an amazing experience. Max says, I've been to Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, but I didn't know any Spanish at that time. I was only there for a few hours because it was a cruise. Okay, I want to visit them again. Also, Mexico and Colombia. Amir, escuchas el dembow. I don't listen to too much of dembow. En verdad, no. And funny thing is, I didn't even know what dembow was. El dembow, hace 2 años, no tenía idea qué era el dembow because I didn't go to Dominican Republic until 2021. So before January 2021, I had no idea what dembow was because I didn't know anything about Dominican Republic. Jay Balvin, yeah, Jay Balvin, he's pretty cool. I listen to him, but not that much. Well, who's the other one? Maluma, is he more of a singer? He's more of a singer, right? He's less of a like a rapper. I like Maluma. Maluma también es de Colombia, yo creo. Maluma. Raúl Rodríguez es la cabra. Sí, yo había escuchado a Raúl. The only song I've heard of him is when he was singing with when he was in a song with Selena Gomez. What song was that? I think it was with Selena Gomez. Oh yeah, Raúl Rodríguez. He's also a bachatero. Raúl Rodríguez. What's his name? Raúl or Raúl? What's his name? Colombia, Jonathan González de Colombia. Saludos desde los Estados Unidos. Sí, Maluma. My favorite song from Maluma is let me see. My favorite song from Maluma, where is it at? Oh, his first album was in 2012. So he hasn't even been making music for that long. So he's, I mean, technically kind of still fairly new. My favorite song from him, no. Where is it at? It's like something or more something. La mejor, el amor. Something. Oh man, I gotta figure out what the song is. Maluma. Mil canciones de amor. Oh, mil canciones. Because there was also a remix with. Okay, this is going to. Okay, I have to find this song. How much does Mac ask? Good question. How much does listening to music in Spanish help? And does it matter if it's artists from different places? I mean, that would depend on your goals. For the second question, does it matter if it's from different places? It can, depending on what your goals are. So, like, if your goals are to understand, Spanish speakers from different countries, then yeah, of course, listening to music from different countries are going to help you learn. And how much does listening to music in Spanish help you? Wow, that is an amazing question as well, and it helps you a lot. Like it, so many different ways. So, listening comprehension improves your pronunciation. Improves, I would say, it helps you speak fluently. Helps you speak fluently more. Like me, like messing up how I speak. Helps you speak fluently better. Because you're learning, vocabulary, you're learning how to combine different sentences together, and then especially with pronunciation, because the way that singers and singers sing, rappers rap, is with rhythm, with like with style, right? Rhythm and changing the pitch of their voice, so a lot of voice inflections. And that's the same thing when you're speaking Spanish. So that's, I think for me, I listened to a lot of Spanish, but I was never using it as a way to learn Spanish. But then I realized it actually did help me out a lot when it came to improving my pronunciation, because usually you don't even notice it. You listen to a song a lot, right? And then you start to repeat what you're listening to. So like you sing along with the song. You sing along with the song, which is really good. because again, you're repeating what a Spanish speaker is saying in their rhythm and their pace. So that helps you to increase your pronunciation skills, because then you basically, I like to say, like, you sound like less like a robot. Like, like for me, when I first started to speak Spanish, I used to speak like oh, yo quiero bailar y practicar with amigos, este y está hace mucho frío. So I used to talk like very monotone like that. But then when you're listening to music, listen to artists, right? They don't speak monotone. So that's why listening to music is really good for that, for improving your pronunciation, because again, since you're copying how Spanish speakers speak, that's one of the best methods of improving your pronunciation. So instead of you trying to figure out how you should sound, you are repeating exactly, or trying to imitate what a Spanish speaker is saying, and that's how you improve your pronunciation. Then of course you got accent marks and stuff like that they're using as well when they're speaking. So it helps for improving your pronunciation, putting words together, putting sentences together. That's really important when it comes to speaking Spanish fluently. That's what I've learned. It's not just about learning vocabulary, but it's about how you actually connect sentences together. Because there's one thing, anybody can memorize phrases, memorize words, but how do you actually connect them together? That's like, for me, like the magic and like the key to speaking Spanish fluently. But yeah, so yeah, you got pronunciation. And of course, you're increasing your listening comprehension, and then you're also learning a lot about Hispanic culture, Latino culture, and learning about culture in general, you're going to do it automatically when you're learning a language and when you're speaking with people. So I think it's a phenomenal resource to learn Spanish, not just for vocabulary, but for like learning like very deeply about a culture of a specific country. Because when when an artist is singing, or when an artist is rapping, or whatever the case may be, they use maybe they use a lot of slang words from the country, but then they're also telling stories. So a lot of songs, they tell stories about the country itself. So you actually learn you can learn a lot about history, and learn a lot about the culture of a specific Spanish speaking country by listening to music. I'm trying to think of one really good song that explains this. I mean, a lot of songs do. But yeah, you'll learn a lot of you can learn a lot of Spanish with music. That's what I'll say. Maluma es colombiano. No hizo una canción con Selena Gomez. Estaba pensando en Raúl Alejandro. Oh, okay, who's Raulín then? I don't know. I don't know who Raulín is. See, I'm already confused. No, it's not Hawaii. It's a song from like 20. It's one of his older songs. It's not one of his newer songs. And funny enough, I actually don't really like Hawaii that much. I don't really like it that much. I really don't. There's very few songs of Maluma that I like. I really really like, and I'll actually listen to over and over again. But that's not one of them. Maybe it's not even Maluma. No, it is. Okay, no, it is Maluma. Let or Maluma. What song am I thinking of? Okay, I have to look it up on Google. Mm, 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 mm. Mil canciones de amor. Mil canciones. Oh, here's a really good example of learning Spanish with music right now. I'm memorizing like some lyrics right now. I'm memorizing or remembering some lyrics that I learned. Mil canciones de amores. Por vivir. Dun, 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 dun. Dang it. Maluma. Por Dios. So like, I mean, a lot of times when I speak, when I'm speaking with with Spanish speakers, I speak in lyrics. Like some people like they'll speak. I do the same thing. You speak with like lyrics, not lyrics, like quotes from movies and from like TV shows. Like the same thing with music too. Like you speak with different lyrics, and that's like why music is really good as well. Oh wait, I should look. It should be in my playlist. Let me look it up. I don't know why it's taking me so long. But I speak in song. I speak in song. Por ejemplo, un ejemplo sería te pido de rodillas que regrese. So that is a song. I actually don't even know, or some lyrics to a song. I don't even know where it's from. But I heard it on the radio before. Te pido de rodillas que regrese. And that's like one really good way actually to learn grammar, Spanish grammar as well, is through music, because you don't have to open up like I don't know, like a verb book or a grammar book or whatnot, and like learn the grammar, but you can like do it directly, just like through music like that. You don't have to think about it like too much, because like you just you're repeating the lyrics over and over again. Okay, so te pido de rodillas que regrese. So if I was like thinking more in like in a grammatical way, it would take me a long time to think of that phrase. Okay, te pido. For example, te pido. So I ask you, te pido de rodillas. De rodillas is actually like a phrase I actually learned like a year ago. De rodillas, de rodillas. So you might hear that a lot in songs, but also in like movies and TV shows. De rodillas means like from the knees. So te pido de rodillas. Okay, this person is talking about, okay, he's asking someone from the knees. Okay, que regrese. And in this case, it's like a subjunctive. So te pido de rodillas que regrese. So like that's like a really good way to learn Spanish, just like that. And like having more of an understanding of grammar through music, because it's so much easier to repeat lyrics and remember lyrics versus just like, I don't know, for me to like just like study out of like a grammar book or something like that. Te pido de rodillas que regrese. Or en las noches me despierto, en las noches me despierto gritando tu nombre. So at night I wake up screaming your name. So that's from like a bachata song. It's really funny. Well, I mean, it's guys in pain, but the song is still really good. En las noches, me despierto gritando tu nombre, que regrese conmigo. Another one, que regrese conmigo, like to return back to me or with me, to like come back to me. People always singing about like heartbreak and things like that. I'm laughing at their pain. It's kind of bad, I guess. Jonathan, yesterday I watched your video talking about how was your journey learning Spanish. Allow me to congratulate you. By the way, I'm learning English. Oh, thank you very much. And congrats for you for learning English, because I know my language is very difficult to learn. I know it's very difficult because we don't pronounce. It's not very phonetic language at all. We don't pronounce a lot of letters. I understand. I'm very sorry. It's very difficult. Unlike Spanish, very phonetic. Hola, Ivy. Hola, ¿cómo está? Brandon's Brain, ¿tú vas a regresar a México algún día? Ojalá. Eso sería un sueño. Ojalá que hará en realidad. I hope so. That'd be awesome. And I agree with you. Brandon's Brain says, la gente aquí son muy amigables y tranquilas. So yeah. Yep. That was my experience. Mexicans were very, very, very friendly and open. Como me dieron un abrazo fuerte, como si fuera su propia familia. Jonathan, listening to Spanish music helps you to learn some common expressions as well. Yeah. Yeah, I guess what I was saying, like, te pido de rodillas. I don't know when I'm going to need that phrase, but yeah. or te ruego. It's like I beg you. That one's one of the ones. And salsa. Mm, trying to think of one. Dile al amor que no toca mi puerta, que ya no estoy en casa, lejos, no, dile al amor que no toca mi puerta, que no estoy en casa, que no estoy en casa, lejos, something like that. Dile al amor by Aventura, really good song. That's one of my favorite Aventura songs. Dile al amor. John, what if your taste of music is 1600, 1750 Spanish music? I haven't heard that music from that time era, or from como esa época. But I mean, same way. A mí no le pegas la negra, un buen ejemplo de aprender la historia, una canción shout out Barranquilla, Colombia. ¿Cuál canción? ¿Cómo se llama? Shakira es nuestra mejor representante. John, I can't understand anything those reggaeton songs are saying. Pero apréndelo. Se puede aprender todo. Sí, exactamente. La rebelión. I forgot who sings that. Is it Grupo Nietzsche? No, it's not Grupo Nietzsche. Like La Rebelión. Joy Arroyo y La Verdad. I mean, so that song's like about slavery, but it sounds absolutely amazing. And not only does it sound amazing, so it's about history about slavery and things like that in Colombia, but you can dance to it too. It's like the weirdest thing. I mean, I've danced to that song a lot. But yeah, but that song, like it's a lot about Colombia, Colombian culture. Well, I think is it Colombia? Yeah, maybe I forgot what country that song comes from. La Rebelión, Arroyo. Where's he from? But yeah, salsa song. It's yeah. So yeah, it's from Colombia. So I mean, that song is absolutely amazing. Like sound wise, but that's the thing. Like you'll hear a lot of Spanish music that sounds amazing, but then like you hear the lyrics, you're just like, what the heck? Like what did I just hear? Like it's like there's so much behind it. It's absolutely insane. Dun, 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 dun. Love that song. Max asks, should I listen then look up the English translation? So there's many things that you can do. There's many ways to to learn music. Like for me, I mean, I never looked up the lyrics. That was for me. I mostly just like listened to it, and then like the more that I understood, as the months rolled by, I just started to understand more of the lyrics and start to repeat them. Or I would look at the Spanish lyrics, but I never looked it up in English. Yeah, I never translated back in English because for me that wasn't important. I didn't really I don't want to know what it was in English, especially because it's hard to translate. It's hard to translate to English, like meaning of things. So it depends on what you want. Like you can if you want. For me personally, that's something that I didn't do, but also I didn't know that many ways to learn Spanish with music. So I was kind of experimenting. So for me, I just like listen to it a lot over and over again. I kind of just kind of memorize some lyrics over time. But I'll tell you one podcast that you should listen to is oh no, Spanish. Espérate. Oh, espérame. One podcast that does a really good job of teaching you how to learn Spanish with music is ¿Dónde está? No, más abajo, arriba. ¿Dónde está esta porca? Okay, here it is. Learn. Okay. So this podcast here, I'd recommend Learn Spanish con Salsa. So the host of this, like, she talks everything, as you can see, learning Spanish with Consalsa, but she talks just about, you know, different ways that you can learn Spanish with music. So I think she'll be able to explain it better than you. But like, there's really like there's no like wrong way to do it. Like learning Spanish with music. Again, like there's so many different ways you can do it. Like you're saying, you know, you can translate it to English. You could, you know, like for me, I mean, usually what I do, I just follow along. I look up the Spanish lyrics, and then I follow the Spanish lyrics, and then I just, you know, listen to the song while I'm reading it. Or sometimes, or if I'm trying to memorize it, I'll do that. But then I'll just read the lyrics by themselves without the music, and then I'll just, you know, try to repeat line by line, and I'll try to, you know, memorize a few lines like over a course of a few days until I'm able to remember the whole song. As I just rehearse it over and over again all throughout the day. So that's another way of doing it. You know, I'll be like, okay, de rodillas que regrese. Okay, de rodillas. Oh, no, de rodillas. De rodillas. No, te pido de rodillas. Te pido de rodillas. That's exactly the same thing I do. Like I mix up. Okay. Te pido de rodillas. Okay, I forgot that line. All right, let me go back and look it up. So then I'll go look it up again. So then I'll go look it up. I'll go look up those lyrics that I forgot. It's like the same thing over and over again until like actually, you know, remember the song or remember the lyrics of the song. So it's just like that. That's one method I do. You know, you can also like, you know, you could you could print off some of the lyrics, and you know, you could take out like many of the words, and then just try to listen to a song, and then, you know, fill in the blank spots. I mean, that's what I did a lot in high school. I don't do that now because I don't like doing that anymore. But like in high school, that's what they had us do a lot. We listened to songs. We would have a sheet that had missing words. We would listen to the song in class, and then they would have us, you know, fill in like what the missing word is. There's another thing that you can do. You know, you could write too. So you could listen to a song, not look at any lyrics, and then just try to, you know, write down, you know, everything that you're hearing. That's another good way of doing it. Yeah, there's like there's many different ways that you can do it. But I definitely recommend listening to that podcast. And then she gives a lot. The host, she breaks down a lot of different ways that you can, you know, that you can learn songs. Where did I put my? Oh, here it is. I spelled it incorrectly, but it's just Learn Spanish con Salsa. They're on Spotify. She has her own website too. So I definitely recommend that. Johnny V, yes. Te pido de rodillas que regrese. Yes. But it wasn't a question. It was just like a statement. En las noches me despierto pensando en tu nombre. The song's name is De Rodillas de Pido by Giovanni Ayala. Oh, thank you. It's like for me, like the funny thing is I have no idea where that song is from. The only reason why I know the lyrics to this song, or no, that line from that song, is because I heard it on the radio over and over again. You know how they'll mix up different songs and like, oh, you know, they'll go from one song to the next song to the next song, like little clips of songs. That's the only reason why I know that. Like I had never heard the song before, like the full song, ever. I've only heard that part on the radio multiple times, like during a little radio ad. Te pido de rodillas que regrese. Then they'll switch to another song, you know, the lyrics to another song. It's all super funny. Bachatea, I follow you. I usually listen to the song you are trying to sing, for instance, Dili al Amor. Okay, perfect. Yeah, that song is amazing. Jonathan Gonzalez says, La Rebellion is la cultural song in Colombia. It's like, I want to dance to it right now. It's an amazing song. Joe Arroyo, asesor de seguros. Sí, es colombiana la historia cuando llegaron a Cartagena. I am creative, first time catching you live. Thank you for coming. Thank you very much. Muchas gracias. Y bienvenido. Te doy el bienvenido. Paul says or asks, have you ever heard a song called Cosa Más Bella Que Tú? No, nunca. From a single called Eros Ramazzotti. he's from Italy, so yes, first it was Italian, Ted did it in Spanish. Maybe I've heard it, but right now no me suena. Oops, he did it in Spanish. I meant that he did it. Then he did it. Okay, then he did it. Yeah, gotcha. All right, we gotta find this Maluma song. Una casa de flores, una casa de flores. Mi canción de amor. No sé, vuelve ahora. Na, da, da, na, da, da, na. You gotta help me out. I don't know. I can't remember the song. I just can't do it. Damn me back. Canciones de amor. I can't. I don't know why it's so hard. I keep forgetting. I forgot to look at my playlist. It should be in my playlist. Déjame ver. Why is it not? Maybe it's not by Maluma. Maybe it's by a different artist. Oh yeah, I'll listen to a little bit of Nati Natasha, a little bit. I have to say, Nati Natasha and Becky G. I like Becky G a lot. I don't know why, but I like her music. I think Becky G is pretty good. Not gonna lie. Okay. I remember the name of the song. It's like una mujer como tú. Una mujer. Una. Oh no. Una lady. Oh, here it is. Oh, I knew it. I had the wrong artist. Oh my goodness. Okay, me equivoqué completamente. Ay Dios, qué vergüenza que me da. So no es Maluma, it's Manuel Turizo. I don't know why I get those two mixed up. So yeah. So it's una lady como tú. Right? Una lady. Yeah. Una lady como tú by Manuel. So that's a good song I recommend listening to. By Manuel Turizo. I don't know why. I get those two mixed up all the time. Do they even look alike? Are they both from Colombia? Manuel Turizo. Yeah, they're both Colombian. Maybe that's why. I can't como no puedo distinguir los colombianos aparentemente. And Maluma, I don't know why. No tengo ni idea. So yeah, okay. Me gusta más Manuel Turizo que Maluma. And maybe because they sing similarly. I don't know. I'm not sure why I mixed those two up. Yeah, One Lady Como Tu. Really good song. The remix version, I think, is the remix version. Who's the there's a remix version too. Una Lady. Oh, that's why. Because Nicky Jam is in it. That's why that's why I like the remix. So Una Lady Como Tu, the remix is by Manuel Turizo, and then Nicky Jam is in it, and Nicky Jam is in it too. Yeah, Pitbull's de Cuba. I haven't heard him speak that much Spanish though. Like I heard him speak a little bit of like English and Spanish, but not just like Spanish, like only that much. I want to hear what he sounds like, because a lot of his music, of course, is is English. I think most of it. I don't know if he has like one. Does he have like one song that's in Spanish, like completely in Spanish? I have no idea. Policy, you can hear it right now as an option. It help me, but I will leave it up to you. It's good both ways. I think most Spanish songs are pretty good, as long as we can understand it, most of it. Hey, Jedi. Spanglish is the best hybrid. Yeah, and Manuel Turizo. Have you listened to Vamos para la Playa? It is a great one. No, never. Vamos para la playa. Vamos para la playa. Oh, popped up right away. Oh yeah, the Calma remix of Pedro Capo and Farruko. That song is good. And the rap that Farruko does, I still have to learn that one. But if you want to learn like fast Spanish, then Farruko, yeah, you can go with him. As far as trying to learn like what kind of what como de qué género es? ¿De qué género es Vamos para la Playa? And también for all those who are here, make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Suscríbete. Suscribir. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Turn on your notifications so you can be notified for new videos that I come out with. And share one of your favorite videos. Si quieres hacerme un favor, I feel like do me a favor. Share your favorite video on my show one of your favorite videos of mine to one of your friends. They could be someone who is learning Spanish or learning any language, or it could be someone who's not learning language at all. I like to get different people's opinions, and I want more people to get interested in learning Spanish. So maybe they can do that through my channel. So that's kind of like one big goal that I have, is to get people interested in learning language, and more specifically, get people interested about learning Spanish. It is rewarding that you speak Spanish. Good vibes. Muchas gracias. Sí, lo es. Como ya te dije antes, como me llena con felicidad. Me llena con felicidad, me animo, me alegro de poder o de ser capaz de hablar en español. Me encanta. Es una de mis actividades favoritas en la vida, es hablar en español. Puro español, claro que sí, Jedi. Puro español. Also, don't forget to check out the links in the description as well of this live stream. And make sure that you do that for some different resources. Make sure you subscribe to my email list as well. It's right under Spanish Conversation Blueprint. And then you get a free PDF. So I have a free resource for you that you can download. So you just have to put in your contact information and put in your email, and you receive the Spanish Conversation Blueprint that I've created. That's just 5 tips that I share that I think are really important for having better conversations in Spanish. So definitely download that. And if you know anybody else who may think that is valuable, or someone who's struggling with speaking Spanish and who wants to have that same goal, or has the same goal of speaking Spanish better, within conversations with native Spanish speakers, then definitely send them that link as well, so they can subscribe to the email list and get that free resource. Also, if you would like to donate to my channel, that would also be very helpful. That's in the description as well, just as support my content. So my Buy Me a Coffee page, you can go there and donate. You can also donate now. Since my YouTube channel is monetized, you can also donate directly on the live streams as well. So you can, I can't see it on mine right now because I'm in a different platform, but you can also donate during live streams as well. You can also donate specifically on each individual video. There's like a little money button, so you can do that as well. So different ways that you can donate and support my channel. And then of course, if you don't have to use the links that are in the description of my videos, but if you do, those are affiliate links. That just means like I get a little commission for me being, say, like a partner. So with Amazon, so that helps out a lot. Luis Miguel, yeah. Yo he escuchado Luis Miguel, but I haven't listened to many of his songs. I'm not gonna lie. I know a lot of people love Luis Miguel, but I haven't listened to many of his music, or I haven't listened to a lot of his music. Paul, here's a joke. What did the Spanish a joke? What did the Spanish man said next during a show? He said that he will vanish on the count of three. So uno, dos, then he vanished without a trace. That's a pretty good one. I'm not gonna lie. That's a good one. It took me 2 seconds to understand it, but yeah. I'm gonna take your joke. So I'm definitely gonna take your joke and I'm going to say it to other people. So thank you. I'm gonna use that one. También yo diría que nos quedamos 10 minutos más hasta el fin de este live stream. So we have about 10 more minutes of this live stream. And then me tengo que ir. I have to go. So yeah, we have 10 more minutes left of this live stream. So little advisor on that. Jonathan Gonzalez, I think it's a kind of a mixed reggaeton by Pedro Capo. Okay. A couple of days ago, I found a video of you. I was just practicing my listening, and here I am. You got a new subscriber. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, and right, who would have thought that me having a YouTube channel, I would have Spanish, native Spanish speakers, from Colombia, from Mexico, from Argentina, joining my live streams or watching my videos to like learn English. For me, I'm like, me da vergüenza porque como siempre yo digo, por favor, yo no soy el maestro de inglés, por favor, como mi acento es horrible, hablo bien, hablo con la gramática correcta, like, por favor. Si quieres aprender inglés, por favor, como ve otro canal. Pero como este tipo de comentarios como también me da mucho motivo para seguir aprendiendo, para seguir creando más videos, pero sí. Muchas gracias. Vicente Fernandez, I think so. Let me see. Vicente Fernandez. Vicente. Maybe como no me suena su nombre, but I probably heard of him. It looks like Mariachi, or maybe I heard of him. I don't know at the moment. Puro 10. That's okay. Take it and share. We all amigos aquí. Buenas noches de Canadá. Buenas noches, Paul. Buenas noches. Muchas gracias por uniendo. I am creative. I wish my Spanish was better. The most Spanish I spoke was when I worked at Subway. I mean, that's good. If you had I think it's such an amazing opportunity if you could have conversations, with coworkers who speak Spanish. Like, yeah, there's really no way to better, not no way better. Like one of the best opportunities, one of the best ways, to improve your speaking skills. Definitely, it's just having conversations, with native Spanish speakers. It doesn't matter like how much Spanish you know either, of course. Like it doesn't matter what your level is. Just the fact that you're doing that and having conversations with people is just there's like no experience like it. It's amazing. Es música ranchero. Sí, como siempre me confunda, como todos los géneros en México me confunden demasiado. Siempre estoy preguntando a uno de tutoras de ITALKI, que ella es de México también. Pero como yo tuve que preguntarle como cuáles son los géneros en México, porque estoy súper confundido. Tenemos, no es mariachis, eso es como un género de música, pero no es pero no necesariamente no es un estilo de baile. Entonces, como los estilos de baile y los géneros de música específicamente es lo que me confunden en México. Porque se pone mariachi, pero mariachi no se baile, ¿verdad? O no estoy seguro. Yo sé que hay banda, hay corridos, pero se baile a los corridos, no tengo ni idea. Oscar Peña, I really like the Mexican Spanish accent that you speak. Oh, have I been using a Mexican accent? I can't really tell. For me, the Mexican accent is really hard for me to reproduce. Por el acento, creo que es importante escuchar, habla los dos idiomas. Los idiomas es más fácil, créeme. Yo no hablo inglés. Te envío un abrazo desde Colombia. Muchas bendiciones. Feliz noches. Feliz noche. Muchas gracias por unirte también. Que tenga una buena noche. Hola, Travis Lozano. Sean cojunudo e llegar a casa. Ranchera música only Mexico. Claro que sí. Ranchera. Okay, well, it's getting late here in Colombia. Catch you later. Thank you so much, Jonathan Gonzalez. Colombia. ¿A qué hora? ¿A qué hora? Colombia. Como una hora más adelante. Algo así. Hola, buenas tardes. Buenas noches. Exclusivamente de México. Exclusiva de México. Qué bueno. Y solamente un recuerdo. Nos quedamos 3 minutos más. So we have 3 minutes more of this live stream. So desafortunadamente, pero me tengo que ir. So we have 3 more minutes of this live stream. So we're winding down here. Los últimos 3 minutos. Ay, caray. But definitely check out my video. I uploaded a video today. I think was it yesterday? Uploaded a YouTube short yesterday, and then uploaded a YouTube video today. So check that out. That was so yeah, today I uploaded a video about how why I love learning Spanish with YouTube. So definitely check out that video. And yeah, don't forget to check out all the links in the description box of this video as well for different resources and to help to support my channel and for donations and all that good stuff. And to subscribe to my email list and get your free Spanish conversation blueprint. Definitivamente. Pues yo tengo cosas como esto, un libro de verbos, un diccionario, como esto, en la caja de descripción. ¿Qué más tengo yo? Como esto, cortas historias en español. Yeah, you have those types of resources in the description box, and also you can get a discount on ITALKI lessons too, for a few of them, depending on how much you are paying as well. Jenna, what I read today? Como de siempre, yo leí esto. Fundación, estoy leyendo este libro. Y otro libro que estoy leyendo ahora mismo es No me puedes lastimar. Entonces, acabo de comprar ese libro hace 2 días. Porque uno de mis amigos me recomendó. Creo que estamos 2 horas más adelante porque Estados Unidos se usa una zona de tiempo diferente. Bueno, porque hay varias zonas de tiempo en los Estados Unidos. Yo metí solo 1 hora más adelante. Oscar Peña, porque Colombia está más al oriente tal vez. Claro que sí. Bueno, pues donde yo vivo, yo creo que solamente hay 2 horas de diferencia en nuestras zonas. Porque yo vivo in Texas, because I live in Texas, and Colombia is only, I think Colombia is only like an hour ahead of us, probably an hour or 2 hours. Because I know Georgia is Eastern time, and Georgia's right above, Georgia's like fairly right above Colombia, and they're Eastern time, so it's probably something like that, like an hour above or hour ahead. Pero bueno, llegamos al fin de este live stream, Spanish live stream number 30. Oh man, I can't wait for 30 more. I'm really excited to have more of these live streams. We'll definitely get up to 100, that's for sure. So, muchas gracias otra vez. Mil gracias a todos ustedes por la buena plática, for la buena participación, for the great conversation. Thank you all for the amazing questions. That was a really fun conversation, como de siempre. Thank you for the great conversation. Thank you again for all your support. Thank you for watching my videos. Thank you for joining live streams. Thank you for commenting. I love all your comments. Make sure that you comment more. Comment like as much as you want. Read the comments and I respond to the comments. So, I love to get everybody's feedback. If you like the video, if you think como si piensas que mi contenido es basura, no me importa. Como dame un comentario. So definitely leave comments after you're watching my videos, live streams, whatever, just so I know what you think of the videos, because, I like to get that feedback and, know how I can make videos better for y'all. So definitivamente hacer esto. Tell all your friends, dile a todo el mundo, comparte mis videos en tus redes sociales, share my videos on, Instagram, Twitter, wherever, Facebook, share whatever. Share it everywhere. Share it con tus familiares, con tus amigos, con desconocidos en la calle, con tu pareja, cuando estás bailando with your dance partners, wherever. Definitely want to grow the channel more. I want more people to, start to learn Spanish, start to learn language in general. So that's like one of my big goals on my channel. That's what I want to spark that interest in people, or help guide people to learn, Spanish. Get motivated for learning Spanish, get fired up, para tener una pasión ardiente, un fuego ardiente de pasión dentro sus corazones. Mentira. So, entonces, all right, adios y hasta luego. So, goodbye for now, and we will see each other again, or we'll talk. I will see your comments again. So, adios y buenas noches. Que tengan una buena noche.